Hi! In this video, we're going to go over how to create your own budget using this budgeting tool we've created here at Workforce Snohomish. Remember that the best budgeting tool is one that you'll actually use, so if this tool isn't the right fit, feel free to find one that works for you. Now you might be asking yourself, why do I even need to build a budget? And the answer is simple. A cash flow budget helps you see exactly where your money is going, so you can adjust your spending and turn your financial goals into a reality. Tracking your spending is one of the first things you can do to take control of your finances, so don't feel discouraged or guilty about your spending habits when you're just starting out. Let's get started and see how you can use this tool to manage your spending more effectively. Okay, so the first step in creating your own cash flow budget is to identify your income and expenses. This part can feel a little overwhelming at first because it requires you to look back at all of your activity over the past month and identify where your money is going. As you can see here, this is an example of what a monthly bank statement might look like. Keep in mind that this is a simple illustrative example, and your real bank statement will include more detailed transaction descriptions. Your statement might get delivered in the mail, or you can usually download it from your online banking platform. If you don't have a bank account or can't access your statements, make sure you're keeping your receipts to track your expenses. All that matters is finding a method that works for you. Let's go ahead and pull up our budget so we can start entering these transactions. Now that we have these both side by side, we'll start by entering Joe's income. As you can see here, it looks like Joe got paid twice this month, once on the 6th and again on the 21st. If we add these two paychecks together, Joe made a total income of $2,955 this month. This appears to be Joe's only source of income, so we'll move on to his essential expenses. His essential expenses includes all of the things Joe needs to pay for in order to maintain his standard of living. We'll start with his housing expense. It looks like Joe's rent came out on the 3rd of the month, so I'll go ahead and enter that here. It looks like his utility bill came out on the 15th, so I'll enter that right here. And then I'll look for his internet and cell phone plan. His internet bill was $48 and his cell phone bill was $60. It looks like Joe also paid his car insurance this month, which was $100. These expenses are the easiest to track because they usually get billed once a month. These other expenses are variable, meaning they change month to month. So this part requires a little bit of math. I'll add up all of his trips to the grocery store, which totaled $376. And it looks like Joe also got gas twice this month for a total of $106. Now that we've entered all of that, we can move on to Joe's less essential expenses. This includes things like the concert ticket he bought or the takeout he got towards the end of the month. This part will also require a little bit of math, so I'll enter the totals for each category here. Dining out, he spent $68. Entertainment, he spent $120. Streaming services, he spent $32. Shopping, $60. And then $50 for his gym membership. Remember that this template is totally customizable, so you can add and delete these spending categories to more closely align with your situation. Now that we've entered everything, let's see how Joe did this month. If we scroll towards the bottom, we can see that Joe had an extra $385 left over this month, meaning he was in a budget surplus. For now, I'm going to enter that amount here towards savings goal 1. This is looking pretty good, but maybe Joe set a savings goal for himself of $500 per month. Now that he can see the whole picture and all of his spending, he can make some adjustments to meet that savings goal. Maybe next month, Joe limits his grocery bill to $300 per month, and we can enter that here in the budgeted category. Joe might also decide that he's spending too much on entertainment, so maybe he limits himself to $75 in this category. If Joe does both of these things and sticks to it next month, he's officially created a spending plan that allows him to meet his savings goal of $500 per month. We've also created this budget allocation section at the bottom, so you can see how much of your income is being split between needs, wants, debt, and savings. To keep it simple, we haven't entered any debt payments to Joe's bank statement, but you can absolutely enter those things here and rename them as needed. Now keep in mind this is a very basic example of how to use the budgeting tool, and many people have expenses or income that aren't regular. If you don't have consistent income, It's helpful to calculate your monthly average income by adding up your income over a few months and dividing by the number of months you added. For irregular expenses, such as car insurance premiums, first figure out how often you are getting billed and divide that number to show how much it costs per month. You can even add that expense as a savings goal and put part of your income towards that expense each month to make sure you're prepared to pay for it. And that's all there is to it. Once you know how much money you have coming in and where it's going, you can make changes to your budget that align with your goals. Just remember that your budget isn't set in stone. Life happens and things change, so make adjustments as you go along. Consistency is key here, and the longer you stick with it, the closer you'll get to reaching your goals. Thanks for watching, and we hope this tool helps you feel more confident in managing your money.